Esther was trained as a bone health educator by Dr. Kenneth Howiak, a podiatrist, and author of a book called Bone Health ABC. When not doing bone density screenings at health fairs and senior living communities, she can be found planting tools, teaching Bible studies, and spending time with friends. She loves helping people create a greenhouse environment in their home and office utilizing the Beacon Wellness technologies, in which we have a selection of them up here in front too. So when there's a little bit of pauses when the speakers are setting up, you know, if you wanted to come up and take a look, or at the end of the day. And then also I wanted to thank our vendors that are out in the hallway. Hopefully you'll take time to review what they have, and they've got great product information, and they would love for you to stop by. Okay, Esther, I am turning it over to you.
Thank you, Anastasia. Thanks for everything you've done to put this together. I want to congratulate you on coming this morning and finding this little tucked away corner of the Overland Park DoubleTree, because that means that you really care about taking care of your body, that you really care about being vibrant, and you may have come for the benefit of someone else. I know you have a couple people here that have others in mind, so congratulations on making it here this morning. I want to jump right in because I'm going to give you a lot of information in a very short period of time. So put the next slide. Great. So the first question I want you to think about is, do you or anyone you care about have a bone or joint challenge? I know the answer to that question is probably yes, because more than half of adult Americans have either osteoporosis, osteoarthritis, or low bone density that was recently called osteopenia. So it's affecting a lot of people. Here's some jaw droppers regarding bone health. 6 months after a hip fracture, only 15% of individuals can walk across a room unaided. Raise your hand if you know someone who's had a major fracture, shoulder, hip, ribs, back. Okay, so nearly everyone in the room knows someone who's had a major fracture. So these relate primarily to the hip fracture because that's the one that is so devastating, leading to long-term care, leading 24% of those who break a hip die within a year. Just think about the muscle mass lost when you're laying in bed trying to recover. 50% of hip fracture survivors will never walk again. They'll be stuck in a wheelchair. Fatalities resulting from hip fractures outnumber deaths from breast, uterine, and ovarian cancer combined. And Dr. Howiak says that's actually fatalities from hip fracture, so those who pass on as a result of the hip fracture. And then hip fracture fatalities in men, if you thought this was just a female problem, the men, their passing away outnumbers the men who die from prostate cancer. So how many of you know someone who's had prostate cancer? Lots of us. So, wow. Did you know that hip fractures are causing more fatalities than prostate cancer? No, I think some heads going no. So that's why it's such an important conversation to have, and an important thing to know about. Our bones are doing way more for us than I ever dreamed. Learning about bones has been exciting and fun, and I never realized how important they are. They're more than just holding your body up. They are also protecting your internal organs and your soft tissues. So has anybody ever seen someone whose back is hunched this way? Have you ever considered how much that's creating pressure on their internal organs? Imagine your little kidney, your little heart's trying to beat, but it's squished down. So there's more to this than just being able to stand up and walk. Your bones also make your red blood cells and your white blood cells. How many of you know, have heard people, maybe someone who's in chemotherapy, talking about their white blood cell count? Those are really important numbers, right? Yeah, so your blood is helping keep those important white and red blood cells operating in your body to fight off illness. And they also aid in the absorption and storage of calcium and phosphorus for other body systems. Let's go to the next slide and I'll give you an example. So every part of your body, every major organ, is getting calcium from your wonderful bone bank. So it's kind of like going to the bank and you say, I would like $1,000 cash, please, and you're able to go shopping. Well, your brain cannot think clearly for you to remember, oh, I have that appointment today with the dentist, if you don't get enough calcium from your bones. And your bones have two major systems going on. There's a thing called bone metabolism. So it's this wonderful cycle where you have new bone cells being formed, and you have old bone cells being kind of sloughed off into your bloodstream. And what is really important about those old bone cells, those don't just get thrown away. Your body uses those, sends them up to your brain so you can think clearly. Dr. Naidu, who's one of the main microbiologists who researches the use of, we'll be talking about lactoferrin, he talks about how your brain can't even set off synapses. Those little electrical impulses in your brain aren't going to function properly without sufficient calcium. So your ability to get great ideas, think creatively, read a book and get new ideas, that's all partly connected to what's going on with your bones. Your teeth, your jawbone, even your intestinal tract function. We won't have any raised hands, but some of us have slow-moving digestive systems. It's not pretty. That's also somewhat related to your bone function. Who knew, right? That would have never been my first guess. Your knees, your joints, oh, so much pain and suffering as a result of breakdown of the cartilage that is part of your bone. The red blood cells we talked about, even your heart functioning. That is a muscle, and those abilities for your muscles to fire and do their thing is partly connected to the function of calcium in your blood, and as well as your hearing. Your hearing is made up of these little tiny grain of rice-sized bones. So even your ability to hear properly is connected to your bone health. Isn't that fantastic? Wow, so we want to take care of our bones, right? Yeah, that's super important. We're all waking up, right? So we want to take care of our bones, right?
Yes.
Awesome, you're awake. That's great. Okay. So calcium's function in the body. It's super exciting. It's called a macronutrient. It's a big, important one. We need lots of it. It's essential, like I was saying, for nerve conduction, muscle contraction, and hormone regulation. Do we ladies like our hormones to be regulated? Yes. And inability to store calcium can result. This is taken from research from medical science. It says bone fractures, obviously, but did you know insomnia can be connected to a calcium insufficiency? Muscle spasming. How many of you have had a muscle spasm in the night? Not fun. Does not lead to good restorative sleep. Heart palpitations and numbness in the arms and legs. Let's go to the next slide. So this shows you an image. Severe osteoporosis actually looks even worse than that from some of the pictures I've seen. But your normal bone has a matrix that looks kind of like the inside of a sponge. And your body is tucking away minerals and nutrients that come in from what you eat. So when you eat your leafy greens and your salmon, it's tucking away minerals and nutrients in that little sponge area. But if you are doing things that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, that are habits that hurt your bone metabolism process, then it's going to become more and more porous, and the matrix becomes compromised. Do we have any engineers in the room? Hey, we have an engineer. So engineers will tell you if the little supportive structures inside of something start to fail, the structure becomes more and more weakened. We do not want weakened bone structure, do we? No. There's one of the ladies was telling me last night, Jean Rossa was telling me she had a sister who was standing at the sink brushing her teeth, and all of a sudden she fell to the ground from a broken, was it a leg?
Was it the top, the thigh bone?
The femur.
Femur.
Her femur, the largest bone in her body, split while brushing her teeth. Who knew that brushing her teeth was a dangerous activity? Okay, so that's what happens when you have severe osteoporosis. You could be just doing a simple little thing like brushing your teeth and break a bone. So that's why we're talking about this subject today. Do you have any concerns about prescription drugs and side effects? Okay, that's a big question. We're not going to spend a lot of time here because our time is very precious. But if you do not have any concerns about the side effects, please talk to the person who invited you and let them fill you in with some of the things that are side effects of the major drugs used to treat low bone mass. Dr. Howiak says that no one who's been called osteopenia or has low bone density should be on a pharmaceutical for treatment. So please do talk to to the person who brought you. Now, just as a little disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional and I don't diagnose or treat any type of illness. I just support the education and the processes for supporting your body's own natural ability to heal itself. Let's go to the next slide. If there were a completely safe, clinically proven, all-natural approach to bone and joint health, would you like to know about it? Well, obviously the answer is yes, because you wouldn't have made all the effort to come on a Saturday morning otherwise. So good job, I'm proud of you. Let's go to the next slide. This comes from Dr. Ken Howiak, a podiatrist who is my mentor. He wants to keep it simple. He says it's like ABC. We're going to talk about D in a minute too. The ABCs of bone health are activities that stimulate your bones. B stands for bringing down the bad stuff. So those are some habits that we have to change. And then complete nutrition. Complete nutrition, if you are already into the osteoporosis zone, your bone density is very much at risk, involves replenishment of things into your body that it's losing. So you have to take a lot more action to help your body if you've reached that point. The activities that stimulate your bones are sort of obvious. It's really anything that while you're walking creates a shock wave through your body. So walking, running, anything where you're moving and there's that shock wave from toe to the top of your head. So anything except for swimming in elliptical machines, you know, not that they're bad, but they just aren't going to be as beneficial for your bones. There's a few more images: running, competitive sports, tennis, jump roping with your grandkids, your kiddos. So those habits that I want to talk about a little bit are things like smoking. We already kind of knew that wasn't good for us. Drinking more than 3 cups of coffee a day, because it's very acidic. And especially the soda. Soda has phosphoric acid in it, and it has lots of sugar, very acidic. So it really creates a problem in your body. And then, of course, the sugars, which are extremely acidic. Why is it important that these are acidic? Because your body wants to be basic. It wants to be alkaline to function well, at least the parts of your body that affect the bones. Obviously, your stomach is going to stay acidic. But your bloodstream needs to be alkaline to function properly. So what happens when you tilt back a soda pop or that 4th cup of coffee or big, huge Snickers bar is that your body sets off an alarm. And one of my colleagues likes to make this fun sound like, alarm, she's drinking that soda pop again, okay? So your body does that. And your bones are very helpful, very generous part of your body. They say, okay, we're going to solve this problem. So when this shot of acidic, we'll just use soda pop, hits your bloodstream, your bones take those old bone cells and put them in your bloodstream to alkalinize your bloodstream. So that as that blood is traveling throughout your entire body, it is not zapping your brain with acid, zapping your heart, all those other parts of your body with acid, okay? So your bones are really friendly, they're your friend. But if they keep on having that alarm sound day after day at your Sprite at 10 o'clock, your Coca-Cola at noon, your Mr. Pibb at 2, and it's an ongoing habit, which probably isn't the case in this room with very health-oriented people, but think of your friends, think of your grandchildren that are doing this on a constant basis. That little alarm system in your body is going off over and over and over and over and over and over again, and your body is constantly trying to stabilize. And as a result, your bone metabolism of new baby bone cells, and then the older bone cells that are the wonderful, friendly ones that help your body, they're seriously out of balance. And your body cannot make enough of those new bone cells fast enough to keep you from withdrawing way too much money from your bank, your bone bank, okay? So that you start running into the red, so to speak, in your bone bank, and you're seriously overdrawn. When you're seriously overdrawn, that's when you have these low bone density challenges. Does that make sense? Okay, good, smart group. Okay, so a lot of processes in our body are complicated. There's a lot of moving parts. Nutrition, hydration is another piece of the puzzle. Who can guess how much of your bone is made up of water? My husband knows. Okay, we got some guesses, 85%. 70, good guesses. Your bones are actually 50% water. So if your bones are 50% water, then it's important to stay hydrated with things that are alkaline, so alkaline water. So this over here is a Pontiac waterfall. My husband and I saw a bone density rise. We both have excellent bone density, but our bone density got better just because we drink water from this unit right here every day. So just a simple little practice is drinking water can increase your bone density. Nutritious food is also important. I'm going to give you a few more details really quick on that. And I'm going to talk to you about bioreplenishment for those friends or family members that are already in a danger zone. Okay? Let's go to the next slide. Calcium-rich foods. We could spend a lot of time on this, but to give you just an easy to remember 4 things. Think of leafy greens, and it's not going to be just the regular iceberg lettuce that everyone usually sees. That's mostly just water. You've got to have nice green like kale and bok choy and, you know, the really fun ones, okay? Organic is, of course, the best. So leafy greens, seeds. The tahini up there is a sesame seed, very high in calcium. So seeds, various nuts. So those of you who like to snack on the Brazil nuts and cashews and things. And then legumes, the bean family. Those are all good sources of calcium, so just think leafy greens, seeds and nuts, and legumes. And that'll be your quick way to remember, hey, that's how I get my calcium, okay? And if you want to get the skinny on that, this lady right here in the red and gray and black knows a lot about nutrition. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I'm just going to review with you activities that stimulate your bones: tennis, running, walking, jumping rope with the grandkids, bringing down the bad habits, things like smoking, drinking too much soda, coffee, and eating lots of sugar. And then the complete nutrition, getting nutrient-rich, dense foods. And then the D to our ABCs is talking about vitamin D. Another moving part of your bone health, because there's so many factors contributing to it, is that if you are low in vitamin D, your body will have difficulty absorbing calcium and other minerals. So you may need to start supplementing vitamin D, but if you can get out in the sunshine, that's even better. Let's go to the next slide. Your body loves sunshine. It's just like a little plant when it gets the sun, and it can then produce its fruit, photosynthesis. We as human beings have kind of like a photosynthesis going on in our bodies when we're in the sunshine. This doesn't mean you have to be outside all the time, but about 30 minutes twice a week, depending on how much melanin you have in your skin. A little longer for our friends that have more melanin in their skin. Gives you enough for your body to go, yay, I have what I need for vitamin D. I'm operating well. Some food sources are the fatty fishes, egg yolks, mushrooms, especially shiitake and portobello, a little bit of the pork chop or the liver and onions. So you want to be able to eat things that support your body's sources of vitamin D as well. Just be aware that if you eat too much of the red meats, then that does also convert to an acid in your body. Let's go on to the next slide. This is the amazing microbiologist, he's everyone's hero, that is the gentleman who spent 20 years studying proteins in your body called lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is kind of a cool word. It is easy to remember if you think lacto, milk, ferrin, ferrous, like iron. I heard you say iron. Okay, so it's made up of, lactoferrin. And there are 28 some different lactoferrins in the body. I'll let you just kind of look there. This guy's impressive. I met him in Orlando at our 40th anniversary of Ken, and I really liked his humbleness. And he said to all of these, something like 4,000 Ken distributors, he said, thank you for taking care of my baby. And he meant his 20 years of research to discover how to help our body to bioreplenish. So he worked so hard, he wanted it to be taken to the world by people who care. And he said, thank you for taking care of my baby, which I thought was really sweet. So I like this guy, I respect him. He has been nominated for the Nobel Prize. I heard he was knighted by the Queen of England. And he also has been published in several research textbooks for the medicine field. And just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Dr. Naidu is the one who, his research team is the one who discovered the precise lactoferrin that we'll be talking about, so we'll talk about 2 of them. And then he's the formulator of Caldex, which we'll talk about here shortly. And I just wanted you to see that this comes from a really amazing and highly qualified scientific researcher. The Bone Health Pack is important for your bone health, for those who have the need to maintain your bone health. If you're 50 and older, you may want to consider talking to your wellness consultant about whether this would be beneficial for you. Because your body naturally begins to diminish in its lactoferrin as we age. It just, for some reason, begins to drop off. And supplementing back in can help your body continue to keep renewing your bones, just like when you were a little kid and you got new bones every roughly 7 years. So, it's completely safe because it's already naturally occurring in the body. So because it's already naturally occurring in the body, you're not going to have an allergic reaction to this. This isn't a peanut, it's kind of a foreign substance. It is something already naturally occurring in your body, just like we're not going to have an allergic reaction to water because our body is made up of water. Does that make sense? Nod your head now, though you're all awake. Great, it's awesome. Okay, and it's clinically proven. I'm going to show you some results that were done on the blue box, OsteoDents, that show that they check the biomarkers in the body. This is where they can look at your blood and other fluids that we will mention, and they can say, oh, hey, I see the serum that your body puts off when it's making new bone material. So we know what's going on in there. Isn't that cool? And then it's natural and free of side effects. So we've actually found some really exciting side benefits. Who's in favor of side benefits instead of side effects? That would be me. Cool, good job. All right, let's go to the next slide. I want to share with you a little on Caldex. I learned recently that Dr. Naidu was not planning to do a calcium supplement because he thought there was plenty of them out there. But as he began examining them, he discovered that many did not take into account the current scientific research that shows that your body, where your body needs to absorb calcium. So in order to have something out on the market that he felt was quality enough to go along with the other two items, he went ahead and formulated Caldex, which has 900 grams of calcium per serving, magnesium, vitamin D, which we just talked about, vitamin K, folate, boron, I believe there's a couple of other trace minerals. So the reason it has more than just calcium in it is that it has cofactors. Cofactors is kind of the scientific word for the buddies that get the job done. It's like a construction crew. You have to have, the guy who's framing and, I don't know. I shouldn't go here because I don't even know who it all involves. But I know that those guys out there working, they have different jobs. And they have to work together to get the job done. So what I love about the Bone Health Pack is that these are bio-replenishments. These are the construction workers getting the job done. The calcium, the Caldex is the minerals that they need to get the job done. So these are the building supplies. This is when the guy comes up with the truck and he's got the wood and the nails, okay? So these are the wood and the nails to build your bones. The construction workers who actually get the work done are the next two. Lactoferrin Gold 1.8 is amazing. I use this myself whenever I know I have some kind of infection going on. I felt an ear infection coming on. I'm old now, I know exactly what that feels like. I've had like 10 of them diagnosed. So now when I know I'm getting an ear infection, I go grab this out of my cabinet. I saw an article that says, in Britain, we're so excited we're finding a solution to the super bugs. It is from milk. And I said to myself, I have that in my cupboard. I've had it there for about a year, and Niken's had it for like 8 or 10. I don't know how many years they've had lactoferrin, but is it about 8 or something like that now? So I love that we're ahead of the curve. That hasn't even hit the United States yet, that there's something that fights superbugs. But we have it already in our cabinet if you're a faithful Niken person. It's antifungal, I love that. It's antiviral, I didn't even put that in there, but that's antiviral. There's nothing antiviral out there hardly, right? So it's super duper cool. I love this, and I love that it's taken from, it is just extracted from milk, but it is not a risk to those who are lactose intolerant because it's very carefully extracted. It takes 3 quarts of milk from these really cool, pristine cows out in New Zealand that have never been exposed to hormones and yucky stuff to make one little capsule. And that one little capsule bio-replenishes into your body that which it needs for being able to naturally go into your digestive system. It supports your body's ability to absorb all those nutrients that you ate from your kale and your tahini and your hummus and all that. And it gets rid of all the bad, yucky stuff, the bad bacteria and microbes. And it supports and acts as a prebiotic. Shake your head if you know what that is. Good, smart group. Okay, it acts as a prebiotic to your good bacteria in your gut. So all the yucky stuff that our antibiotics do to us, you can take this with an antibiotic and it will help to reduce those negative effects of your antibiotic, which, when it kills off your good bacteria. Because, sometimes we need those, right? We need the help with getting those good bacteria healthy again. So I'm going short on time. Let's go to the next slide. This is the super cool patented lactoferrin that is called Osteodense for marketing purposes. This is the one that is the construction worker on your bones that is like the foreman. It's the one who's efficiently making sure that this guy's, the calcium's getting laid down into the bone matrix and the magnesium's going where it needs to go. This goes in and it says, okay, minerals, this is where you need to go to efficiently function in your body. And when this diminishes in your body, it becomes more and more difficult for your body to get the minerals where they need to go. Maybe you ate lots of nutritious food, maybe you didn't absorb it in the gut, or maybe you did, but then you reach the point where when this one diminishes in your body, it's hard for your body to then efficiently get the minerals into your bone matrix. So this is the one that takes your minerals out of your bloodstream and puts it into your bone matrix. Now, is this exciting? This is what's making the new baby bone cells. Remember how we talked about the alarm sound when you drank that soda pop? And remember how we talked about how quickly your body gets out of balance and it's sloughing off a lot of old bone cells, but new baby ones are not being born? This is the one that is helping your new baby bone cells be formed. Is this impressive? Yes, because you can look at lots of research in the medical community and find that none of the interventions out there that are currently being prescribed create actual new bone cells. The current pharmaceuticals that are used, they cause your body to retain the old bone cells. And by retaining the old bone cells, your bones can become harder and more brittle. This, with the new baby bone cells being created, enables your bones to keep that youthful, that tissue that has a little bit of a bounce to it. You know how a little kid can fall down and they don't break anything? And you're just amazed? It's because they have all that wonderful new bone material, new baby bone cells. And obviously you'll break something if you hit it hard enough against another thing. So we're talking about just normal bone functioning. Quickly, I want to go through the clinical study results. Women were given just a calcium supplement, and the other half of the group were given calcium plus the Osteodense. That's the blue box, okay? They found that within just 2 weeks, they could already tell that the body was forming new bone cells. The red one here talks about bone resorption. That's the old bone cells being sloughed off into your bloodstream. Okay, so it began to slow that because there wasn't as much of the need to go in there and rescue your body. The women who had the Osteodense was saying, hey guys, go here, get the work done. Okay? So it was efficiently utilizing the minerals that were in the bloodstream, and their bone resorption slowed, so that's less being lost out of your bone matrix, and more being added into the bone matrix is what's shown in the blue graph. Within 2 weeks, the new baby bone cells skyrocketed. The ELS stands for enriched lactoferrin supplementation. So ELS is standing for adding in the Osteodense into their regimen. So you can see that big, huge, sharp spike in the blue. That's the baby bone cells. So that's showing, woohoo! The maternity wards are full. So that's a good thing, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to conclude there. If you have additional questions about this presentation, please talk to the person who invited you. And anybody who invited folks, you're welcome to come to me if you have questions or want copies of something, okay? All right, thanks so much for listening. You're great listeners.